Okay, now that we've practiced counting up and figuring out how long periods of time are, it's time to practice filling out a time card. And I should say about these examples, don't expect every single one of them to end in 0.25. That's just, I don't know why I set up the paper like this, but they could end in 0.5, 0.75, or even just as a whole number. And you'll see that as we go through here. So, finding the hours on a weekly time card. This is an example of an employee's time card. They've already filled in their in and out times for each day, Monday through Friday. Now it's our job to figure out how many total hours they worked each day and how many total hours they worked for the week. The reason there's an in, out, and not just one in and out is because a lot of times companies won't pay you for working over lunch, okay? Lunch is on is your own time, all right? So that doesn't count towards how many hours you work. So let's look at Monday. We don't have to round anything anywhere on Monday because it says 8:15, that's rounded to the nearest quarter hour, 12:15, 1 o'clock, and 5 o'clock. So that's great for us. All we have to do now is count up from 8:15 to 12:15 first, then the person goes on lunch, comes back at 1, and gets out at 5. So 8:15, if we start at 8:15, we add an hour. What time is it? 9:15. We add another hour. That's 10:15. We add another hour, 11:15. We add another hour, 12:15. That's the out time. So what I'm going to do right here is I'm just going to mark down 4. She worked 4 hours before lunch. Then she comes back at 1, and she starts at 1, add 1 hour, 1, add another, she starts at 1, add an hour, that's 2 o'clock, add another hour, 3 o'clock, add an hour, 4 o'clock, add an hour, 5 o'clock. So that's the out time. So she worked 4 hours after lunch as well. So the total number of hours that she worked on that day is 4 plus 4 is 8. Very simple. On Tuesday, she comes in at 8:30 and gets out at 12 p.m. So we start at 8:30. Add an hour to 8:30, 9:30. Add an hour to 9:30, 10:30. Add another hour, 11:30. Starting to get close to 12, so now I'm going to switch to half hours. I'm within an hour of 12 o'clock. So now I'm going to switch, not to half hours, to quarter hours. Okay, so it's 3 hours so far. 11:30 plus 15 minutes would be 11:45, plus another 15 minutes would be 12 o'clock. So I added 2 15-minute segments. That would really be 30 minutes. So 3 total hours and 30 minutes, or in other words, 3.5 hours, since 30 minutes is half of an hour, and half is represented by 0.5. When she comes back from lunch, we do have to round these times first. 12:35 is going to be closest to 12:30, and 5:20 is going to be closest to 5:15. This is when it can get tricky, okay, sometimes. And you'll see what I mean in just a second. So 12:30 to 5:15. So you start at 12:30. What's an hour past that? 1:30. Another hour, 2:30. Another hour, 3:30. Another hour, 4:30. If I were to add another hour, that would be 5:30, and that would be past this time. So it's 4 hours so far, and I have to figure out how many different chunks of 15 minutes I have to add. So from 4:30, I add 15 minutes, that's 4:45. Not there yet. I add another 15 minutes, that would be 5 o'clock. Not there yet. I add a third 15-minute chunk, and that would be 5:15. So I added 15 minutes plus 15 minutes plus 15 minutes. That's 45 total minutes. 15 plus 15 plus 15 is 45 minutes. And I know that I can represent 45 minutes as a fraction of an hour as 0.75. Now what I do is I simply add 3.5 and 4.75. 8.25 hours for the day. The reason I said this one can be tricky is because sometimes people think when they see the 30 and the 15, they think, oh, that's 15 extra minutes. But it's not. Because the 30 comes first and you're going to 15, that's not quite a full hour. That's only 45 minutes. So please make sure you understand how this counting up thing works. Wednesday, 8:28 and 12:05, we're going to round that to 8:30 and 12 o'clock. And actually, look at that. We already have that up here. We have 8:30 to 12 o'clock, and we know that that's 3.5 hours. Then we have 12:30 to 4:30. That's a pretty easy one. Start at 12:30, add an hour, 1:30, add another hour, 2:30, add another hour, 3:30, add another hour, 4:30, 4 hours. 3.5 hours in the morning plus 4 hours in the afternoon is 7.5 hours. 2 more days. On Thursday, she works from 8:15 to 1:45, big morning shift. So we start at 8:15. Add an hour to that, 9:15. Add another hour to that, 10:15. Add a third hour, 11:15. Add another hour, 12:15. Still not there. Add a fifth hour, 1:15. I'm within an hour of 1:45, so I'm going to write down 5 because it's been 5 hours added so far. From 1:15, I now add 15 minutes. I get to 1:30. Not there yet. I add another 15 minutes. I get to 1:45. So I added two 15-minute chunks. That would be 30 minutes, and 30 minutes is represented as 0.5. For the afternoon, she comes back at 2:15 p.m., and she's out at 4:59, but we need to round that. We got to round that to 5 o'clock. So start at 2:15, add an hour, 3:15, add an hour, 4:15. If I add another hour, I'd go past 5 o'clock. I'd be at 5:15. So I start with 2, and then I have to add the number of minutes. 2:15 plus 15 minutes would be 2:30, plus another 15 minutes would be 2:45, plus a third 15 minutes would be 5 o'clock. Excuse me if I said 2:35. So what I really meant was start. So add 2 hours, you're to 4:15. Then you add 15 minutes, 4:30. Then you add another 15 minutes, 4:45. Add a third 15 minutes, you're at 5. And as we saw, 3 15-minute segments is 45 minutes. 45 minutes means 0.75. Okay, 5.5 plus 2.75 is again 8.25 hours on her Thursday. To finish up on Friday, she started at 8:33 and was out for lunch at 12:20. We need to round those times. 8:33 is closest to 8:30. 12:20 is closest to 12:15. Starting at 8:30, you have add an hour, 9:30, add another hour, 10:30, add another hour, 11:30. If you added another hour, 4 hours, that would be 12:30, and that would be over. So we know it's 3 point something. And we know we're going from 11:30, add 15 minutes, that's 11:45. Add another 15 minutes, that's 12 o'clock. Add another 15 minutes, that is 12:15. So 3 15-minute segments is 45 minutes, which means we write down 3.75 because 0.75 is the decimal representation of 45 minutes. So 0.75. And finally, to finish, 12:50, be careful. Sometimes people round improperly when they're getting going with this. This is closest to 12:45. Don't say it's closest to 1. It's closest to 12:45. So 12:45. Add an hour, 1:45, 2:45, 3:45, 4:45. From 4:45 to 5 o'clock, we add 15 minutes, so that is 4.25. We take 3.75 plus 4.25, and that's 8 hours. Now, we add all of those hours together, 8 from Monday, plus 8.25 from Tuesday, plus 7.5 from Wednesday, plus 8.25 from Thursday, plus 8 from Friday, and the total number of hours is 40 hours. And it won't always come up to be 40, that's just this example, but in this case it did come up to be 40. Okay, that's how you fill out a time card. We'll start with some easy ones, and then we'll get gradually a little bit harder and a little bit harder. Notice that this also has the person's name down here. Usually you have to sign a time card to verify that it's accurate. If you sign something that's inaccurate, it could lead to kind of bad questions for you. So you don't want to do that. Okay? That is how to fill out a time card. It's one of the trickier topics in this unit, but we'll have plenty of practice on it. I'm more than happy to answer any of your questions on it. So I'll see you guys soon.